Hi, I'm Yolanda and welcome to Speak On. Today I'm joined by Lucy, a model, writer and mental health advocate, Nicole, a blogger, and Rafika, a skincare writer and model. Thanks for joining us for part 2. Today we're talking about social media and the influence it has on the way we communicate and share information. Right, I'm going to start off by talking about the incident that happened last year in Oxford Circus. It wasn't a thing, no one was hurt, but there was, for a little while, we weren't sure if it was a terrorist attack, what was happening, there was talk of gunfire, etc. And the whole thing turned out to just be people panicking on social media. There was like a lot of misinformation, everybody was scared, and just outright lies, Ollie Murs. So yeah, it really got out of control. I mean, I had friends that were literally kind of like in the kitchens of restaurants, like hiding because everything just went really wildly out of control. So one lesson we should learn from that is that we need to be a little bit more careful and be a little bit less like with the whole itchy trigger finger thing on social. As you guys have a following and therefore have a responsibility, how careful are you when it comes to liking or reposting content? I'm going to start with you, Rafika.
So when it comes to liking content, I like anything that, you know, just attracts me as a person or as I say, part of the audience. But when it comes to any political issue, anything that's going on within the world that's fairly serious, again, you've got to be so careful about what you like, or what you have an opinion on. Ideally, I try to stay away from it because, again, you don't want to get sucked into it. I have an opinion and the next person is going to have a separate opinion to me, and I don't want to be bumping heads with someone who I know I'm not going to be able to get through. Whether I feel I'm right or they feel they're right, I don't want to be in that position. Again, I've got followers who might feel completely different to how I feel. And I don't want to offend anyone out there because they are sensitive topics.
And so for something like if that happened again, do you...
You mean the Oxford?
Yeah. Do you ever kind of post anything in real time? Do you ever kind of like join in with that kind of conversation
again,
or anything? Or do you just watch and see what happens?
So the first thing, and in the Western world, anything like this happens, everybody's on like terrorism. I am so scared being Muslim that it always comes back to a Muslim did this, and then there's always backlash in the Muslim community. So again, I try to stay as clear from it. But it makes me fearful for not just myself, but for my family. Because you know you're going to be labelled, you're going to be branded, and people that are completely innocent are going to be targeted because out of fear, community is just fearful of, you know, one idiot out there who triggered it all off. But it just goes to show, like the Oxford scenario, it goes to show that we as people here in the UK are extremely terrified. It shows how quickly we panic because we are targeted. Being the Western world, being one of the superpowers in the world, we are targeted. And radicalized groups, it works in their favour to scare.
I suppose that's quite, I didn't even think about it from that perspective. I was just thinking of everybody's just so eager to share information, but I didn't even think about it from the perspective it's like you don't want to join in with that because obviously that conversation is going to turn really quickly. So that's a really interesting point that you've made there. And yeah, I didn't even think about it from that perspective. Thank you for that. So, yeah. What about you guys? Are you quite careful about what you like and repost, or do you even repost? Some people don't.
I mean, with liking, not so much in terms of like being careful. I like what I like. But in terms of stuff I post, I do think you have to be careful sometimes, but I'm probably quite controversial, to be honest. I do get involved in the arguments. If I do have something to say about something political or something that I feel strongly about, then I will speak up about it. The end of last year, with all of the marches for the Libyan slaves, I think it's really important to speak out about issues like that, any kind of issues that I feel passionate about, but that I think everyone should feel passionate about. If you have any kind of following, I think it's important to speak about those kinds of things. But equally, I did lose a bunch of followers from that, which is mad, but it does happen.
Which is crazy because you feel like everybody would be outraged about that.
It's like, it's like saying, oh, I don't really like the rain, and people go, oh no, oh, come on now. And it's like, really? Is that You don't agree that slavery is bad? Okay.
So you
don't
lost
follow me then,
following
because that's fine.
because-
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
That's insane.
a couple of
That's-
hundred.
For liking
in
something
that
that's
day.
like quite terrible.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because some people just don't want anything political on their timeline.
Okay,
They don't. They
cool.
want.
Yeah.
They want the blinkers on. They want, you know, the ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
And they don't want to think about
I
things
suppose
like that.
it boils down to why people are on social. Some people are just
Yeah,
on because they just want to
exactly.
see fluff or
No, that's
happy
fine.
things
If
and
that's-
unicorns. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Yeah. Okay, cool. What about you? Are you quite careful?
Kind of a mix between the two. So I think I'm careful when it comes to nonsense, sort of like political fluff, things that are put there to enrage people for no reason. I don't feel like it deserves my response.
So you don't go around liking these purposely inflammatory type things?
No, no, because it is a baiting mechanism and I'm not here for it. Things that I will respond to and sort of like speak out for are things that are really important, like you said, the Libyan slaves, any sort of like real injustices in the world that I can see that are close to me, then I'll be like, yeah, I'm going to share that, or I'm going to put that out there. Or even not only online, but sometimes word of mouth goes much further depending on who you're talking to. So things like that, but yeah.
And so when it comes to these kind of things, obviously with the Oxford Circus incident, everything was unfurling in real time. So anybody involved in that real time conversation, there's no opportunity to research or look into it or find out what's going on. Because I mean, even I didn't post, but I did certainly say to people, just don't go to that area, mainly because I thought it's just going to be really inconvenient. You're going to get caught and God knows, you know, you may be stuck there for ages. You can't research, you can't look into it. But for, say, something like the Keaton-Jones video that went round last year, there was this video of this like poor boy getting bullied, and then after subsequent stories, I don't know how true, whatever anything is, but people were so quick to share with very little research, and then they were like, oh dear, we should have researched and looked into this.
Yeah.
Do you, if you are going to like something or repost and you feel strongly about something, do you take the opportunity to look into it? I'm going to ask Lucy.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
It's when things go viral that when I feel like everyone's talking about something, that's what makes me think, hang on, what's actually going on? I don't ever just go, this says this, oh, that's true then, and then just read. Like, no, I want to find out what's going on myself. I want to figure out what's really happened and see it from two sides. If there is two sides, there might be five, there might be four sides. It's important. Also, you just look really stupid otherwise as well, because if you've just reposted stuff to a bunch of people and you're just kind of spouting garbage, then that's embarrassing.
And I'll ask Rafika, have you ever posted something that has come back to bite you in that respect? It doesn't have to be a huge bite, it could be a nibble. But
I don't think I have. But going back to it, like Lucy just said, you research everything. I go to my dad. My dad is like Wikipedia. He knows everything and anything. When it comes to current events, my dad knows about it. I think everyone's dad's that guy. So no, I don't blindly like anything or blindly follow anything. Always make sure that I'm aware. And if it's controversial, like I said, terrorism, I try not to get involved. I will have my opinions, but I will not share them on social media. Just because, again, I'm sitting there thinking, fuck again, another idiot.
Yeah, I think especially from a Muslim woman's point of view as well, I think that's really important, and it's always going to come across as sort of controversial, which is difficult.
I do feel like it's then on the responsibility of others to speak up for you, like, or people like yourselves in that moment, because like we all know that you can't really defend yourself when there's such, like you said, inflammatory statements going out. So
For sure.
yeah.
Oddly enough, I don't feel as terrified for my well-being because, again, even though I am a Muslim, I'm not obviously the best Muslim in the world. I don't wear the full garb, as you can tell. Some might criticize that. But there are those who wear the hijab that do get targeted, and they are called names on the subway. They are abused, they are pushed, they are spoken to as though they're less than human. So I do feel for them, but I myself don't feel in danger, if that makes sense. I just don't feel the need to comment on it.
yeah, that's fair enough. It's good to have a stance. You've chosen your lane.
Stay away
yourself.
from it.
Exactly, staying away from this and
Yeah.
not, So I think you have to be careful as well. So it's when you're responding and what you're responding with, and where
I don't
that might
agree
go.
with any of it.
Yeah,
I don't agree. I
You don't have to
usually
respond to every single thing
Yeah.
you see. Yeah. Okay, cool. Right, and so I'm going to move this on a little bit and say now we're going to move away from that incident. Have you ever seen anyone post false information about you online? Nicole?
No.
Oh, okay, look at you.
Yeah. Well, not yet. I think it's
Yeah.
crossed it doesn't happen, but it probably will one day. I'm always just kind of trying to prep myself for when that does happen.
Just in case.
Just in case. Because like, I know the type of person I am. I'm like, no, it's not true. Like, no one cares.
Please don't believe it.
So yeah, but I can only imagine that it must be quite difficult to deal with.
Yeah. What about you, Lucy? Has that happened to you before?
Not so much false information. I guess it would just come across as more like misconceptions. I definitely think I've posted stuff that I regret. Even like some of my modelling stuff, because for some reason people think that the female body, if it's out, then that means that you are a certain type of person. And if you are a certain type of person, then that makes you less of a woman. And there's all these ridiculous connotations with it. So I definitely have that kind of backlash. If I've had like lingerie shoots or nude shoots, I definitely face that kind of backlash a lot of the time. But ultimately, most people don't know me. They don't know what I'm really like. So I think you have to sort of roll with the punches. But it's hard, you know. Obviously, things people say can hurt your feelings sometimes, but...
Okay, and Rafika, if something was posted online about you that was crazily, wildly inaccurate and incorrect, how would you handle it?
I just tend to ignore it. At first, it wasn't as easy as ignoring it. It would knock away at your self-confidence. And I'd sit there and I'd cry. And I remember my mum saying, if this is the life that you want, you've got to be able to take the negative with the positive. Whatever it is, you're still getting publicity, and just be happy. So it's a growth thing. So you learn to deal with it.
So if somebody posted something, you'd be like, oh, forget it.
Yes, someone's always going to have an opinion. Someone's always going to try and take away from your success. Or, you know, if they think you're successful, they're going to try and bring you down a peg.
Okay, fair enough. And would you guys have the same reaction then if somebody posted something online about you? Would you want to go online and set the record straight? Or would you be like, well, people that know me know, so who cares?
I think it's really difficult unless you're in that situation. You don't know how you're going to react because it depends on the day, depends what's actually said. So, you know, someone might say something that really hits a nerve with you and you just kind of fly off the handle and it's not something you can kind of control at the time. But you do have to be careful for sure.
But do you know what I've noticed? That when someone writes a lie about you, there's always going to be 10 other people that follow it because they want to believe that. Whether you comment on it to set the record straight, if they don't want to believe you, they're not going to. So there's no point in wasting your energy, really.
Yeah, I suppose there's always going to be people that believe rubbish and conspiracy theorists and flat earthers and stuff like that. People that just
all
believe
the crazy
rubbish.
rumours in the world.
Yeah.
Some of them start from nothing.
Yeah. So in 2018, maybe we can think before we repost. Check our sources. I really wish people would. That is the thing that does my head in. Just don't post things that just are blatantly not true. Think about what we're liking and sharing and whether or not we're contributing to fake news and just overall general stupidity. So yeah, that's it really. Thank you so much for joining us. Please like and subscribe and we'll see you next time.